Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back for day 2, our MC for the 2026 Indo-Pacific Energy Security Ministerial and Business Forum, Akiko Nakaya.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, and welcome back to the 2026 Indo-Pacific Energy Security Ministerial and Business Forum. Hope you had a wonderful evening and had a chance to enjoy Tokyo. Now, we will begin today with welcome remarks from Thomas Hardy, Head of Agency at the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, and Kyle Hausfeit, Assistant Secretary for Hydrocarbons and Geothermal at U.S. Department of Energy. Following those remarks, we will hear from several foreign ministers, followed by deal announcements from many of our government and business partners. After lunch, the heads of delegation will attend a closed-door ministerial discussion. And at the same time, there will be several deep dive discussions bringing together industry leaders and government representatives. And we will then come back together to present the key findings from those sessions to the ministers. I'm very confident it'll be a productive and insightful day for all. So let's get started. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Thomas Hardy from USTDA to the podium.
Good morning. Welcome back to day 2 of the Indo-Pacific Energy Security Ministerial and Business Forum. I want to begin by thanking our co-hosts, the government of Japan through MEDI and the National Energy Dominance Council for making this happen. Before I begin, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. This can't happen without the contributions from private industry to make all of the little special niceties of this weekend possible. Want to note Venture Capital last night for a wonderful reception, the Asian Natural Gas and Energy Association, the Council on Global Energy Security, the Nuclear Energy Institute, National Mining Association, the Center for LNG, Cheniere Energy, and the Nuclear Company. This is a small subset of the U.S. companies that are here today, but they've each contributed greatly to making this event a success. I also want to take this opportunity to thank my team at the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, who've worked tirelessly along with the National Energy Dominance Council to pull this together in very short order. Not only is it takes a village, as they say, it's been my team, it's been National Energy Dominance, and we've been fortunate to have the Webster Group who have made this possible up here. Yesterday's discussions underscored the shared reality. The Indo-Pacific sits at the center of energy demand, and the choices we make today and in the coming days will shape the region's security and prosperity for decades to come. Ministers, industry leaders, and financial institutions spoke with remarkable clarity about the need for reliable energy supplies, resilient infrastructure, and trusted supply chain. Many agreements were signed yesterday that went to the heart of making these goals a reality. We heard how energy security and economic growth go hand in hand, and we saw that neither can be achieved without strong cooperation between government and private industry. Today, we build on that momentum from day one. Our agenda today will focus on moving from dialogue to delivery, with a focus on accelerating the development of energy infrastructure, mobilizing capital for priority projects, and strengthening the supply chains that underpin secure energy systems. We'll also hear from ministers and industry leaders about how our countries can work together to expand reliable energy supply, advance innovation, and ensure that our Indo-Pacific's energy future is built on trusted partnerships. By the end of this forum, our objective is clear: to leave Tokyo with a stronger partnerships, a clearer pathway for investment, and concrete next steps to advance energy security across the Indo-Pacific. I want to thank you, each of you, for your leadership and engagement for these 2 days, and look forward to a productive day ahead. I now want to take this opportunity to recognize the keynote speaker this morning. Please join me in welcoming Kyle Hausfit, Assistant Secretary for the Hydrocarbons and Geothermal Energy Office within the Office of Department of Energy. In this role, Kyle oversees a multi-billion-dollar research and development portfolio spanning oil, natural gas, coal, geothermal, and critical minerals, advancing technologies that strengthen energy security and drive innovation across the U.S. energy sector. We are delighted to have him here this morning to open up day 2 of the Energy Security Ministerial. Kyle, please join.
Good morning. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you to everyone for being here this morning. I'd like to reiterate our deep gratitude to the government of Japan, to METI, to NEDC, to the ministers, to the leaders, to the executives for being here today. We know that energy security is national security, and we know that when humans have access to reliable, affordable, secure energy, they live longer, more prosperous lives. When American energy is stronger, the world is stronger. And I can tell you that under the leadership of President Trump, America's energy industry is stronger than ever. President Trump returned to the office, and with him, he brought back pragmatism and common sense to energy, prioritizing 3 key characteristics: reliability, affordability, and security. Reliability, affordability, and security for Americans and for our allies. One of the first steps the President took to progress this was lifting the harmful ban on LNG exports from the Biden administration. Since then, the administration has approved over 18 BCF per day of LNG export authorizations. The U.S. leads the globe in LNG exports today at 16 BCF per day, with plans to nearly double that by 2030, providing the energy that the world needs. Congratulations on billions of dollars of deals being signed yesterday and today. Those deals are the seeds that will sprout into true innovation, innovation that will change the globe, improve the quality of life, and advance energy dominance for America and for our allies. As a piece of inspiration, if we look back 25 years, the United States was in a position of energy reliance. We depended on other countries for the critical energy that our citizens needed. But thanks to deals like are being signed today, thanks to innovation, thanks to risk takers, the shale revolution was unlocked. And just 25 years later, the U.S. transitioned from the global leader in LNG imports to the global leader in LNG exports. From the global leader of oil imports to the global leader in oil production. Had over 14 million barrels of oil each and every day. Over 120 BCF of natural gas every day. So I say this to encourage you, to inspire you, that energy transformation can take place in a quarter century, truly revolutionizing a country, revolutionizing it for our friends and our allies, and I believe that the deals that are being signed here will do that. Today, we're converting molecules to megawatts and megawatts to intelligence. That intelligence is driving the AI revolution. That revolution is poised to aid the world in solving problems that were once thought to be unsolvable. curing diseases, advancing new energy forms like fusion. Without reliable, affordable, secure energy, the AI revolution will fail to take off. We know that the Indo-Pacific region is a rapidly growing region. We've seen the security challenges in just the last 2 weeks put us all on high alert. So we're here to tell you America is open for business. The United States is blessed with abundant resource. At over 120 BCF per day of production, the United States is ready to answer the call to action to provide the energy that you all need. So I'm here to share the message from President Trump, from Secretary Wright, alongside our great leaders, Secretary Burgum, Administrator Zeldin. We're here to partner with you. We deeply treasure and value the relationship with the Indo-Pacific region. Today, we're going to wrap up with a closed-door ministerial, where we're going to talk about the future of energy. We're going to talk about the needs, the security. We're going to talk about the reliability, not just in producing the resource, but having clear routes of delivery from the United States to our allies. It's one thing to produce the energy, but we've seen through the Strait of Hormuz that it's a whole nother story to be able to rely on the delivery of that energy. Nearly 60 years ago, Japan received its first cargo of LNG from Alaska, and we're excited to look forward to the future of additional LNG exports from Alaska and from the Gulf of America. I want to make sure to highlight some of our deep dives. Again, these problems, the true transformation in energy, starts with innovation. Administrator Zeldin says it well. We believe in innovation over regulation, and we need scientists, we need engineers, we need problem solvers to come together to identify the problems and develop the solutions. So our deep dives this afternoon, sponsored by the National Mining Association, Asian Natural Gas and Energy Association, Nuclear Energy Institute, and the Council for Global Energy Security. Those will all take place during the closed-door ministerial and provide a readout afterwards. So again, congratulations on the tremendous success. We look forward to continued discussion, continued partnership, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, our next group of distinguished speakers hail from across the Indo-Pacific region, Australia, Singapore, and Brunei. Our first speaker in this distinguished group is Minister Madeleine King from Australian Ministry of Resources and Ministry of Northern Australia. Minister King joined us yesterday, where she delivered remarks and witnessed several important deal signings, further demonstrating Australia's strong partnership with the United States and countries across the region. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Minister King to the stage.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the hosts and organisers and sponsors for the kind invitation to speak today at this very important Indo-Pacific Energy Security Forum. I want to start by acknowledging the recent election of Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. It is a significant moment for Japan, and Australia wishes the Prime Minister and her government very well. It is wonderful to return to Japan this year, where Japan and Australia are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Basic Treaty of Friendship and Cooperation, sometimes known informally as the Nara Treaty. It is a very significant celebration for our two nations. Meeting as we are today, it is worth highlighting that the treaty was born in the late 1970s against a backdrop of a previous period of geopolitical instability in the Middle East and an acute global energy crisis. Japan and Australia recognised our economic interdependence and resolved to build a partnership grounded in mutual trust and reliability. Today, our governments are working closely together to lay the foundations for another 50 years of prosperity and economic security. I'm personally delighted to be back in Tokyo. It is a great world city, much of it built through the long-standing relationship between Japan and Australia in the trade of iron ore, coal and LNG. Given current events in the Middle East, this forum takes on a new importance and urgency. And my message today is clear. Australia remains a trusted, long-term and most importantly, stable energy and resources partner with countries in the Indo-Pacific region. We are resolutely committed to supplying the energy that Japan, Korea, Singapore and the entire region needs to provide global economic stability and security. The vulnerabilities of global energy supply chains have been exposed by the current conflict in the Middle East. Australia, by contrast, has remained a trusted and reliable supplier of energy for well over half a century. This steady and dependable supply of Australian energy has been central to the peace and prosperity of this region, which it has enjoyed for so long. Here in Japan, Australian energy powers this nation for around 8 hours a day, every single day. Australia has never missed an LNG shipment to Japan. Now that's what I call reliable. But in order to continue that supply, that reliable energy supply, Australia needs continued foreign investment. Reliable investment from Japan and other nations represented here today at the forum have built Australia's resources industry, and these partnerships are more important now than ever. I'd like to take a few moments to explain the policy of the Australian government in relation to our domestic gas supplies and how that interacts with our all-important export commitments. Ensuring long-term security for Australia is a priority of our government. It is a priority of every government here today to ensure their country's energy and security needs are met. Australia is also taking very seriously its responsibility to ensure regional security and stability through supporting energy supplies to our regional neighbours. Australia has abundant supplies of gas, and gas producers continue to supply to the domestic market despite the external shocks caused in the Middle East. And just as every country here seeks to ensure its own domestic energy security, Australia must do the same. Accordingly, our government is implementing policies to ensure our internal gas demands are met. But let me be clear. Australia will not do anything that harms investment or alters existing contracts or which jeopardises the energy security of other nations in the region. We acknowledge the development of our LNG industry, which is a critical internal supplier of gas, could not have happened without the support of the great nations in this room. Now, just as Australian energy has been vital to the long-term security and prosperity of this region, our critical minerals and rare earths will be equally important. These minerals and rare earths are not only key inputs to batteries and other technologies needed to reduce emissions and for everyday life, they are vital for defence industries. Vital, for example, to the technology being used right now in the Middle East to protect civilians from drones and missiles. Just as Australia has become a dependable and reliable supplier of energy, Australia is uniquely placed to be a long-term reliable supplier of critical minerals and rare earths. We have the natural geology, we have the most advanced extractive resources sector in the world, and as I say, we have an unrivalled track record as a reliable and stable supplier of resources. By working together and jointly investing in our industries, particularly in processing capabilities, we can lock in a reliable supply of critical minerals and rare earth products. A great illustration of this point is in Australian mining company Lynas Rare Earths. In response to export bans on rare earths, Japan invested in Lynas and now has supported this company for more than a decade. The patient and trusted capital that began in 2012 has now transformed Lynas into the biggest producer of rare earths outside China, indeed the only producer of rare earths outside China at this stage. The payoff for this investment is stability of supply. And the recent announcement of a floor price for the offtake of processed rare earths between Lynas and JERA sets this alternative supply chain up for the future. Another example of the successful delivery of trilateral investment is the Alcoa Sojitz gallium project. Australia, Japan and the United States has worked together to develop a solution to China banning the export of gallium, and in 2025 we together formally announced the start of this important project. Encouraging and nurturing more collaborative investments of this nature is essential. The Australian Government's critical mineral strategy will encourage further investments in critical minerals and rare earths, and Australia has committed to establish a critical minerals strategic reserve through which we can deal with trade and market disruptions from a position of strength. Of course, many of the major commodities Australia produces will continue to be in demand as countries transition to their net zero goals. Australia represents over 50% of global iron ore exports and is currently the only supplier that can fulfil the demand of our trading partners for iron ore at scale. Our trading partners have indicated they will continue to require both thermal and metallurgical coal well into the future, and we will continue to supply that coal. We all have strengths that complement one another. That is why we must work together. Our resources and energy relationships have laid a strong foundation, but now is the time to build on that foundation for a brighter and more prosperous future. Thank you once again for your attention. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the program and especially enjoys this great city of Tokyo. Arigatou gozaimasu.
So next, I'd like to introduce the Minister for Manpower and Second Minister for Trade and Industry of Singapore. Singapore continues to play an important role as a regional hub for energy innovation, trade, and investment across the Indo-Pacific. So please join me in welcoming Minister Tan See Ling to the stage.
Honorable Ministers and Excellencies, a very good morning to all of you. I'm delighted to be here for the inaugural Indo-Pacific Energy Security Ministerial and Business Forum in Tokyo. March is the beginning of the flower viewing season in Japan, or Hanami. Beyond appreciating the nature's beauty, Hanami is also about communities coming together and connecting over meaningful engagements as well as conversations. I would like to thank the United States and Japan for co-hosting this event, which could not have come at a better time. Now, the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has affected all of us, impacting energy prices, trade, and investments. And as I was walking up, I passed a remark to Minister Madeleine King, telling her how reassuring her message was to all of us here. Thank you very much. So this is more important, particularly more so for Asia, because we are trade exposed and we have to import almost all of our energy. Yet, we expect the energy demand to continue to keep growing as our economies become more reliant on electricity to drive growth in advanced manufacturing, in AI, and electric vehicle adoption. Now, the need for energy security and reliability will be critical, and we must all work together to build a more resilient energy future for all of us. And I will share more on how we are doing this both at home and within the region. Now, in Singapore, we are geographically disadvantaged. Very, very small country. We diversify our energy portfolio and we pursue all visible options to strengthen our energy reliability, security, and our own resilience. Now, natural gas will continue resilience. Now, natural gas will continue to underpin the security of our system for the foreseeable future, and hence we invest significantly in natural gas supply chains. For example, even as we speak, we are building a second LNG terminal to expand our capacity. Now, to secure our gas supply chains, we establish a central procurement arm. We call it GasCo, to centralize all of our gas procurement and source gas commercially from diverse sources, from Australia right up to the US. Now, we will double down on indigenous sources of energy, especially on solar. Just last year, we achieved our 2030 target of 2 gigawatt peak of installed solar capacity 5 years ahead of time. So now we are raising our sights, our ambition, to 3 gigawatt peak by 2030, and we aspire to double last year's achievement of 2 gigawatt peak within the second half of 2030. But we will continue to face significant challenges because, As I've alluded to earlier on, we are a very small country and we're very densely built up. In fact, we have one of the most solar-dense country populations in the world. So even if we extend and put everything we have under that solar canopy, we will be able to only get about 10% of our energy demand to be supplied by solar energy. Now, nuclear energy, on the other hand, has high fuel density and is especially attractive for land-scarce Singapore. So we are therefore seriously studying the potential deployment of advanced nuclear energy technologies, such as small modular reactors, which have the potential to be safe, to be reliable, and to be a cost-competitive option for us. So Singapore is prepared to work with like-minded countries to build capabilities, share knowledge and best practices as we explore these promising technologies together. Now, within the region, we're working closely with our ASEAN neighbors to strengthen regional interconnectivity and build the ASEAN Power Grid, or the APG. Now, the APG is an ambitious endeavor, which once realized will significantly strengthen the energy resilience of our region. It will allow countries to diversify supply sources and respond more effectively and nimbly to system disruptions. Now, the APG has been gaining strong momentum in recent years. I'm glad we're making good progress. We have successfully implemented the Laos, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore Power Integration Project to demonstrate the viability of multilateral cross-border electricity trading within ASEAN. We are also developing frameworks to support regional initiatives, including the development of subsea power cables and the cross-border trading of renewable energy certificates. Now, the strong partnership within all of the ASEAN member states will be crucial in ensuring the success of the APG. And this brings me to my next point on partnership. Singapore will work with all partners towards this shared outcome through building capability and financing for key infrastructure projects. On nuclear energy, we are partnering international leaders such as the US and the Republic of Korea on capability building, especially in nuclear safety and technology assessment. We are also seeing strong interest from international partners who want to be part of building the ASEAN Power Grid, including through financing support. We're working closely with the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank to secure financing for interconnector projects throughout the region through the ASEAN Power Grid Financing Initiative. Their expertise will be invaluable in helping the region unlock capital, reduce investment risks, and ensure the financial viability of these projects. Now, once again, I want to thank all partners here. I want to express my appreciation to the US and Japan for organizing this very meaningful dialogue. I want to take this opportunity to also invite all of you to the Singapore International Energy Week in the last week of October this year to continue this important conversation. You will also get to enjoy some semblance of Hanami in Singapore all year round at our gardens by the bay. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you very much. And finally, I'd like to introduce Deputy Minister of Energy at the Prime Minister's Office of Brunei Darussalam. Brunei continues to play an important role in regional energy cooperation in advancing reliable and secure energy development across the Indo-Pacific. So please join me in welcoming Deputy Minister Dato Seri Paduka Awan Haji Muhammad Azumi to the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellency Ministers, Vice Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me at the outset to express Brunei Darussalam appreciation to the Government of the United States of America and the host country the government of Japan for convening this Indo-Pacific Energy Security Ministerial and Business Forum. Energy security remains a fundamental foundation of economic growth, social development, and regional stability. At its core, energy security means ensuring that energy remains sufficient, reliable, and affordable to support the aspirations of our economies and the well-being of our people. This challenge is particularly significant for our region. Southeast Asia, in particular, is among the most dynamic economic regions in the world, with strong economic growth, rising populations, expanding industries, driving steadily increasing energy demand. In this context, oil and gas will continue to play an important role in meeting the region's energy needs. Projections by the Asian Center of Energy indicates that oil and natural gas could supply close to half of Asia's energy demand by around 2035. As economies grow and industrial activity expands, hydrocarbons will therefore remain essential in supporting power generation, industry transport, electrification, air conditioning, digitalization, including the rapid growth of artificial intelligence and data infrastructure, as well as modern mobility systems across the region. Ensuring sufficient and reliable energy supply will therefore require sustained investment in the oil and gas sector to maintain production from existing fields and unlock new resources. Many producing areas across the region are experiencing evolving upstream landscapes, and without continued investment, supply gaps could emerge that may place additional pressure on energy markets. At the same time, ensuring reliable energy supply also requires strengthening the resilience of our energy supply chains and infrastructure. Recent geopolitical developments, supply disruptions, and market volatility have highlighted how interconnected global energy markets have become. Alongside continued investment in hydrocarbons, greater investment in alternative energy sources, and modernizing the power supply infrastructure will also be important to diversify the economy, the region's energy mix, while ensuring uninterrupted supply of electricity as to safeguard long-term energy security. However, energy security is not only about availability, it's also about affordability. For rapidly growing economies, stable and predictable energy markets are essential. Excessive price volatility can have far-reaching impacts on electricity costs, industrial competitiveness, and the cost of living. Advancing lower carbon energy solutions is also an important part of strengthening long-term energy security. This reflects the broader energy trilemma that we collectively face, balancing the need to ensure secure and reliable supply, maintain affordable energy for our economies, and advance environmental sustainability as demand continues to grow. For Brunei Darussalam, as both a producer and importer of hydrocarbon, we understand firsthand the pressures across the energy system in balancing energy security, affordability, and sustainability. In response to these challenges, Brunei Darussalam has reaffirmed the importance of strengthening energy security as a central priority. While sustaining our upstream oil and gas sector remains essential to our economic stability, we are also expanding opportunities in downstream development and progressively integrating renewable energy and other lower carbon solutions into its system. Brunei Darussalam has long contributed to regional energy security as a reliable producer and supplier of crude oil, LNG, and petroleum products. Looking ahead, we aspire to further evolve this role not only as a dependable energy supplier, but also as a partner in advancing lower carbon energy solutions for the region. At the same time, we are advancing initiatives to strengthen our domestic energy system. Renewable energy deployment has grown significantly in recent years, increasing tenfold since 2024, and we have set a target to raise renewable energy to at least 30% of total power generation capacity by 2035, supporting by a growing pipeline of solar, waste-to-energy, and energy efficiency initiatives. In advancing these efforts, regional cooperation and international partnership will remain essential. Enabling energy threat investment will be critical to strengthening energy security across the region, both ASEAN and the Indo-Pacific. The scale of energy infrastructure required will depend on strong collaboration between the government, industry, and financial institutions, supported by stable policy frameworks and bankable projects. Strengthening cooperation across the region through technology development, project investment, shared infrastructure, and integrated energy networks will allow us to optimize resources, accelerate innovation, and build more resilient energy systems. Because ultimately, if the Indo-Pacific is to sustain its dynamic economic growth, it must do so securely, reliably, and affordably. Energy security must remain the foundation upon which that future is built. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister King, Minister Tan, and Deputy Minister Mohammed Azumi. And I'm pleased to announce a few more deals from around the region with our industry and government partners. Our first set of deals focuses on partnerships across the Indo-Pacific region. It's my great pleasure to invite to the stage John Jovanovic, President and Chairman of the Export-Import Bank of the United States, to introduce these important collaborations. John Jovanovic serves as a President and Chairman of the Export-Import Bank of the United States. He brings deep experience in energy, critical infrastructure, and finance across both the private sector and the U.S. government. Prior to leading EXIM, he served at the U.S. International Development Finance Cooperation, where he advanced American-led financing alternatives and worked to counter adversary influence in strategic markets, reflecting his broader commitment to strengthening American investment and advancing U.S. interests abroad. So please join me in welcoming Chairman Jovanovic to the stage.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on day 2 of our inaugural Indo-Pacific Energy Security Summit. Today's announcements reflect President Trump's economic priorities and what he has tasked our teams to accomplish together, namely to strengthen America's economic leadership while fortifying partnerships with all of our key allies, many of whom are in the room today, revitalize American industry, and ensure that our companies compete and win on a global stage. Today, across sectors like liquefied natural gas, uranium enrichment for the nuclear space, and critical minerals processing, these transactions demonstrate how we at the Export-Import Bank are supporting industries that are central to America's long-term economic and strategic strength. By backing these sectors, we're helping ensure that American energy, technology, and industrial capacity remain at the forefront of global markets. Just as importantly, today's actions highlight the importance of working alongside our trusted allies. Our partnerships with Japan and the Republic of Korea are essential to building secure, reliable supply chains across the Indo-Pacific, from energy to advanced nuclear fuel. These collaborations strengthen our economic ties while ensuring that key resources and technologies are developed and supplied by partners who share our values and our shared interests. The Export-Import Bank exists to ensure that when our companies bring world-class capabilities to global markets, they have the financing tools they need to compete and to win. These transactions we are recognizing today demonstrate that strategy in action, mobilizing American finance to expand exports, deepen allied cooperation, and reinforce the industrial base that underpins U.S. economic strength and the strength of our strategic relationships. Thank you. Now I think we'll welcome Secretary Wright or Secretary Burkham. Great.
Thank you very much. Now, our first deal is between United States Export-Import Bank and Delphin Midstream have executed a term sheet for EXIM to provide financing for the $14 billion Delphin LNG project, the first offshore LNG export project in the United States. Delphin advances the United States' twin goals of energy dominance and making American shipping great again. It also represents a trilateral Indo-Pacific partnership for energy security between US, Japanese, and Korean companies. EXIM is pleased to join Mitsui OSK Lines of Japan and Samsung Heavy Industry, Hanwha Asset Management, and the Korea Overseas Infrastructure and Urban Development Corporation of Korea in this trilateral Indo-Pacific partnership for energy securities. So now, if you please. Thank you very much. So we'll do a photo shoot. All right. Okay, one more. Thank you very much. All right, so next we have two announcements from EXIM involving General Matter, highlighting new efforts to strengthen secure nuclear fuel supply chains across the Indo-Pacific. General Matter is a U.S. nuclear fuel company developing domestic uranium enrichment capacity to supply low-enriched uranium for existing reactors and HALEU for advanced reactors. The company provides fuel to utilities in the United States and across the Indo-Pacific as countries expand nuclear power and seek reliable fuel from allied suppliers. The Export-Import Bank of the United States is issuing a letter of interest supporting up to $2.4 billion in financing for Japanese nuclear operators to purchase American fuel from General Matter, strengthening secure nuclear fuel supply chains and reducing reliance on adversarial sources. And EXIM is also issuing a letter on interest supporting up to $1.8 billion in financing for Korea nuclear operators to purchase American fuel from General Matter, further strengthening secure and reliable nuclear fuel supply chains across the Indo-Pacific. So gentlemen, if you please. Okay. Congratulations, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, the third deal is N-Cycle and Transfigura offtake agreement. N-Cycle, a critical metals refining company, has signed a binding 10-year offtake agreement with Transfigura, a leader in the global commodities industry valued at $1.1 billion. Under the agreement, Transfigura will purchase the mixed hydroxide precipitate, or MHP, and lithium carbonate produced by N-Cycle at their new South Carolina facility in the United States starting in 2028. This marks a major milestone for Western supply chains and represents the largest multi-metal commercial agreement between recycled feedstock supplier and critical mineral refiner to date. So if you please. All right, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, our second signing session highlights new partnerships with the Republic of Korea. Please join me in welcoming back to the stage United States Secretary of Interior and co-chair of the National Energy Dominance Council, Da Burgum.
Morning, everyone. Exciting day again today. With so many productive meetings have been happening throughout the conference, and as you see here on stage, as you did yesterday, so many productive relationships being formalized. The way we achieve energy security in the world is by not just talking about it or having dialogue, but actually building economic partnerships, and that's what you're seeing here with these. With all of these signings. And of course, the U.S. and Korea Strategic Alliance has been a pillar of peace and stability for almost 70 years, and energy security is a key part of that. We had a great meeting this morning with Minister Kim. We've had a chance to get to know each other over some time. And an interesting side note on Korea, when I was governor, it was just about 18 months ago when I was still governor, we were on a great trade mission to the Republic of Korea. And in our home state of North Dakota, which is a big energy producing state, our largest manufacturer is a company called Bobcat. You've probably seen their equipment all over the world, skid steer loaders and mini excavators. In 2007, Doosan bought that company. And so as governor, I had an opportunity for 8 years to work with Doosan, and they were an incredible corporate citizen in our state, retaining and expanding the jobs of North Dakotans and being just fantastic. And the minister is a former Doosan executive until just recently this year. So we bonded over that, and we learned in that discussion that I was the only governor that had ever been on a trade mission in the Republic of Korea, whose wife, the First Lady of North Dakota, had been a Doosan manager, leader, working on the launch of some Bobcat equipment. So we had that fun connection as well. But this trusted partnership and friendships between allies is more important than ever, especially when we're working on things like LNG and in an era of increased demand for electricity, nuclear, critical mineral supply chains, and of course Korea, although it has got energy security challenges. 51 million people in a country that's half the size of my home state is been an amazing innovator. They've built the world's most advanced manufacturing economy, one of them, and they're one of the largest importers of LNG and consumers globally. And we want to have that LNG be from friends and allies, and whether that's from America or Australia, but it's important for our allies to have secure supply routes, and it's critical to powering whether it's Korean semiconductors, their shipbuilding, their advanced manufacturing, their digital infrastructure, the work they're doing on nuclear reactors, shipbuilding. All of these are industries that are critical to defense and to the future. So under President Trump's energy dominant strategy, the U.S. has the capacity to really expand the abundant, affordable, and dependable energy to Korea. Part of that is going to be coming from the unleashing Alaska energy. Alaska, again, from a trade route standpoint, is about 1/3 the distance to Japan or Korea than it is from the Middle East, and so dramatically shortening transit times, but also dramatically increasing the energy security. So with that, we're excited, as that is a preamble, to be, and our next thing is signing some deals with Korea. And of course, you're going to also get a chance to hear from Minister Kim, the Minister of Trade, Industry, and Resources for the Republic of Korea. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, is the minister's up next? Okay, here he is.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for Secretary Durgum. Your compliment is wonderful. Industry leaders and distinguished guests, I wish to express my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to celebrate our private sector milestones. Korea and the U.S. has maintained an enduring partnership encompassing both economic and security matters. Today, this partnership has leaped forward with the formalization of two substantial agreements. Korea has advanced its energy strategy by improving accessibility through increased import of U.S. LNG, which is why I am confident that today's LNG agreement stands as a testament to our mutual commitment and to energy security and solidarity. We are also here to celebrate another milestone. Today, we have agreed on a critical mineral framework, which will be the platform for the collaboration on critical matters that is really important to both of countries, which is my sincere hope that we can facilitate investment in the critical mineral sectors through this framework and project-level cooperation between our respective companies. I trust that this agreement signed today will serve as a cornerstone for bolstering the stability of global supply chains. Thank you for your continued collaboration. Congratulations again to Hana Aerospace and Venture Global. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, this deal is a sales and purchase agreement between Venture Global LNG and Hanwha Aerospace LNG. Venture Global and Hanwha Aerospace Corporate Limited announced the execution of a new sales and purchase agreement for the purchase of 1.5 million tons per annum of U.S. liquefied natural gas from Venture Global for 20 years, starting in 2030. So, gentlemen, if you please. Right, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please step down from the podium. And we will be taking a very short break. So we will see you in about a few minutes. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. Now, our next deal highlights an exciting partnership with Indonesia. Please join me in welcoming back to the stage Administrator of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, to the stage.
Well, good morning. The deals just keep coming all weekend long. It has been so exciting to see all of the partnerships, and this is a weekend for trusted partnerships all across the Indo-Pacific. Once again, we're highlighting the importance as it relates to critical minerals. From extraction through the end of the entire process, to make sure that we are reducing our reliance on less trustworthy actors, and instead we're able to lean on each other through public-private partnerships between nations that are truly trusted partners. The United States and Indonesia continue that advancement here with this morning's announcement that we are very excited to make, and grateful for all of you to be here. Without any further ado, I know that we're going to hear from the Minister for Energy from Indonesia, and we can't wait to engage in this morning's signing of what starts as a pilot project, but you could all see with clear eyes the great potential of hundreds of millions of dollars that would soon follow this initial pilot investment. And very grateful for all those involved stepping up to make this possible. And thank you again, all of you, for being here this weekend and for making what is going to be a truly historic 2 days of very big announcements across the Indo-Pacific. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. So now I would like to introduce Bahlil Lahadalia, Minister for Energy and Mineral Resources, Republic of Indonesia, to introduce the partnership. And the minister will deliver his remarks in Bahasa Indonesian. So please use your headsets at your tables for translation in English or Japanese. So Minister, if you please.
Selamat pagi semuanya, salam sejahtera. Yang saya hormati Bapak Ibu semua, delegasi Menteri dan Wakil Menteri. Yang mulia dari Pak Rose Agzawa, dari Menteri Perekonomian Perdagangan Industri Jepang. Saya pertama mengucapkan terima kasih untuk bisa join bersama Bapak Ibu semua dalam rangka memberikan pandangan-pandangan dalam menghadapi sebuah dinamika dunia yang semakin tidak menentu, khususnya terkait dengan energi. Dalam konteks energi dunia, secara implisit konstitusi Indonesia memandatkan agar Indonesia ikut serta dalam melaksanakan ketertiban dunia yang berdasarkan kemerdekaan, perdamaian abadi, dan keadilan sosial. Dalam konteks itu kemudian Indonesia dalam beberapa sejarah perjalanan bangsanya telah mampu memberikan kontribusinya kepada dunia dengan menginisiasi beberapa kelompok yang diantaranya adalah mengikuti KTT Asia Afrika, keanggotaan Indonesia pada ASEAN, G20, dan lain-lain. Bapak Ibu semua, kalau kita melihat perkembangan yang ada sekarang, ini hampir semua negara memperhatikan keunggulan-keunggulan komparatifnya. Indonesia adalah negara yang mempunyai penduduk 280 juta jiwa. Total penduduk Asia Tenggara 600 juta lebih, di Indonesia 280 juta. Dengan jumlah pulau yang kurang lebih sekitar 17 ribu lebih. Dan mempunyai potensi sumber daya alam energi yang sangat luar biasa sekali. Kita mempunyai geotermal terbesar di dunia setelah Amerika. Kita mempunyai kritikal mineral seperti nikel. Kita mempunyai tenaga matahari, angin, air yang cukup luar biasa. Dalam kondisi seperti ini Indonesia juga memberikan kontribusi kepada dunia dengan melakukan ekspor LNG kurang lebih sekitar 150 kargo kepada dunia dalam kurun waktu 2025. Forum ini saya sangat mengapresiasi sebagai bentuk dari keberadaan kita semua untuk saling menguatkan, tidak saling melemahkan. Dalam konteks saling menguatkan adalah bagaimana negara-negara Indo-Pasifik itu bisa melakukan kerjasama yang saling menguntungkan. Sudah barang tentu tidak ada negara satupun yang tidak ingin untuk mendapatkan keuntungan dari sebuah kerjasama. Ketegangan di Timur Tengah telah melahirkan sebuah pemikiran besar, kesadaran besar bagi semua negara yang hampir semuanya untuk memproteksi kepentingan internalnya, kepentingan negaranya. Hari ini kita di Asia Tenggara beberapa deal-deal minyak kita dengan beberapa negara di luar Asia Tenggara mulai terjadi delay. Maka kami berpandangan bahwa ketika kondisi ini tidak mampu kita melakukan kolaborasi yang baik, maka kita juga tidak bisa menyalahkan setiap negara memprioritaskan dengan kebijakan-kebijakan internal dia. Salah satu contoh di negara kami sekarang, karena kami masih impor 1 juta barel per day, kami akan mengoptimalkan untuk mendorong transisi energi. Untuk solar kita akan bikin biodiesel. Indonesia mengekspor CPO 26 juta sampai 30 juta ton. Kalau kondisi kemudian kita tidak mampu mendapatkan energi dari tempat lain, kami akan membuat planning untuk CPO yang kita selama ini ekspor, kita akan mendorong untuk menjadi B50, B60, B70 untuk memenuhi kebutuhan domestik kita. Begitupun di aspek yang lain. Tadi saya mendengar sahabat saya Pak Menteri Tan dari Singapura berbicara tentang bagaimana kolaborasi tentang energi. Kita sekarang lagi mendorong PLTS 100 gigawatt untuk mengurangi pemakaian fosil. Dan kita dari Indonesia sangat betul-betul fokus untuk melakukan transisi energi. Tahun ini mulai PLTD kita pembangkit listrik tenaga diesel, kita akan mematikan mulai tahun ini. Kurang lebih sekitar hampir 20 gigawatt. Nah, saya mengharapkan forum yang seperti ini tidak hanya pada konteks bagaimana kita membangun sebuah konsensus wacana. Sudah saatnya saya pikir setiap kesepakatan global itu harus mampu kita lakukan untuk kita bisa eksekusi. Dari berbagai cerita yang ada, saya sangat mengapresiasi apa yang dilakukan oleh Jepang, sahabat kami. Hari ini contoh katakanlah kami mendorong untuk ada satu perusahaan Jepang melakukan investasi 20 miliar US dollar dengan membangun kurang lebih sekitar 1.200 mm gas di Maluku yang sekarang kita lagi dorong supaya 2029 sudah bisa melakukan produksi. Dan ini terus yang akan kita lakukan ke depan, termasuk sahabat kami dari Amerika. Kita mendorong juga ExxonMobil untuk melakukan suatu investasi tentang CCR, carbon storage. Investasinya kurang lebih sekitar 4-5 miliar US dollar. Ini adalah saya pikir beberapa hal-hal yang harus dilakukan. Kolaborasi antar negara menurut saya sangat penting. Tidak ada sebuah negara yang survive di dunia ini tanpa membutuhkan negara lain. Dan sudah saatnya sekarang kita mulai melakukan hal ini. Bagi Indonesia, sektor energi bukanlah hanya soal penanda kemajuan dan penopang pertumbuhan ekonomi, melainkan juga keadilan sosial. Komitmen pemerintah sangat jelas, afirmasi terhadap kelompok masyarakat yang rentan dan berada di wilayah terluar harus memiliki akses yang setara terhadap energi. Saya menyampaikan kepada Bapak Ibu semua, negara kami yang tadi sampaikan begitu luas. 1.700 pulau. Sebagian belum ada listrik. Dan di bawah pemerintahan Bapak Presiden Pak Prabowo menginstruksikan kepada kami untuk semua desa-desa yang belum ada listrik itu harus segera dilakukan ada listrik. Dan memang luas wilayahnya begitu bagus. Tidak hanya persoalan listrik, tapi juga harus BBM yang satu harga. Karena kalau di wilayah timur ada wilayah kami yang harus memakai pesawat memuat energi. Di wilayah Papua, di kampung saya, itu juga butuh suatu teknik yang luar biasa dalam membangun itu. Sebagai penutup, saya ingin menekankan bahwa kerjasama internasional termasuk inisiatif daripada The Indonesia Pacific Energy Security Mineral and Business Forum tidak boleh berhenti pada sekedar tataran pemikiran yang tadi disampaikan. Tapi juga harus mampu ini menjadi sebuah komitmen. Karena dalam pandangan kami, beberapa konsensus yang kita lakukan, ini mulai agak sedikit tidak terarah. Contoh Paris Agreement. Indonesia menuju net zero emission, tadinya 2060 kita pangkas menjadi 2050. Tapi akibat kondisi global, yang tadinya ada beberapa pembangkit listrik di beberapa negara lain yang tidak memakai batu bara, sekarang mereka mengontak kami untuk mengirim batu bara. Total perdagangan batu bara di dunia kurang lebih sekitar 1,3 miliar ton. Dan Indonesia menyuplai kurang lebih sekitar 540 juta ton. Jadi ini antara komitmen-komitmen kita untuk melakukan mendorong transisi energi dengan apa yang terjadi pada gejolak transaksi batu bara di dunia khususnya untuk PLTU, ini agaknya tidak sinkron. Kami juga melakukan percepatan untuk hilirisasi terhadap mineral kritikal khusus nikel. Indonesia mempunyai cadangan nikel terbesar di dunia, 43%. Dan sekarang kita lagi mendorong untuk melakukan ekosistem baterai mobil. Ini juga sebagai bentuk kontribusi Indonesia terhadap dunia dalam rangka menyiapkan bahan baku baterai mobil, termasuk baterainya sendiri. Namun kita juga tahu bahwa memang di sana sini ada terjadi dinamika yang sangat besar antara keikhlasan bagi negara-negara berkembang yang mempunyai sumber daya alam untuk melakukan hilirisasi di negaranya dan beberapa persaingan-persaingan yang tidak ingin dan ada upaya untuk tetap kita diminta untuk melakukan ekspor bahan baku. Dan saya pikir mengakhiri sekali lagi dalam pandangan kami adalah kolaborasi yang dilakukan harus menguntungkan semua pihak tanpa mengorbankan kepentingan dan tujuan nasional setiap negara. Kerjasama ini mesti saling menguatkan, bukan melemahkan di antara negara-negara anggota, sehingga akan menciptakan soliditas yang makin kokoh dan dunia yang adil. Kalau ini mampu kita lakukan, Bapak Ibu semua, para menteri, delegasi, saya yakin bahwa sebagian besar masalah bisa kita selesaikan. Tapi ketika kita tidak mampu melakukan ini dengan baik, maka yakinlah bahwa ada negara yang bisa selamatkan dengan energi, tapi juga ada negara yang mungkin akan susah untuk memperjuangkan dalam rangka memenuhi kebutuhan domestiknya. Saya pikir demikian. Terima kasih. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua.
Okay, thank you very much. So now our next announcement highlights a project focused in lithium extraction from geothermal brine, a USTDA-funded grant to PT GeoDipa Energy. Will support a pilot project to assess the viability of an innovative U.S. technology to extract lithium from geothermal brine at the Dian geothermal field in the central Java, Indonesia. GDE, a government-owned Indonesian company, won an extensive portfolio of the geothermal exploration and development activity, will partner with U.S. company Lilac Solutions, based out of Oakland, California, to deploy its ion exchange technology over a 2 to 3 month pilot period. The project will collect data to validate scaling the technology beyond its current testing phase. The pilot is expected to produce lithium carbonate equivalent, a critical material used in battery manufacturing, a range of digital, defense, and energy technologies. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you. Now, these announcements reflect the strength of collaboration between governments and industry across the region. Our next deal focuses on Thailand. And please welcome Attapol Lekpipu, Minister of Energy, Thailand, to introduce the partnership. So Minister Attapol, please come up to the stage.
Excellency, distinguished guests, senior leaders from global energy industry, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sawasdee krab. On behalf of the Ministry of Energy of Thailand, it is a great privilege to join this gathering of deal announcements between Thailand and the United States today. For Thailand, natural gas and LNG continue to play a critical role in meeting the country's energy demand. With our sizable amount of 11 million tons per annum LNG import, or around 27% of Thailand's natural gas supply in 2025. Thailand expects that our LNG demand will grow up to 26 million tons per annum in 2037 as a result of increasing domestic gas demand and neighboring markets. Ladies and gentlemen, for global natural gas security, international cooperation is crucial for strengthening natural gas supply chain by enabling trade and investment and enhancing public-private partnership. Thailand recognizes an important role of this business deal as we underscore the importance of long-term LNG supply for Thailand and highlight the crucial role of LNG in diversifying Thailand's long-term energy mix for cleaner energy future. I would like to congratulate to both PTT Public Company and A-Star Alaska for a successful outcome of the initial negotiation, which could reaffirm our continued collaboration between Thailand and the United States. The Ministry of Energy stands ready to support close partnership with Alaska LNG partners and our ally from Indo-Pacific. We also look forward to furthering the positive outcome of business discussion on the Alaska LNG project, which could enable potential trade and joint investment in the near future. In Indo-Pacific, I believe that we can work closely on sharing readiness to safeguard region's energy security by encouraging new energy deals and business collaboration. I trust that we can mutually strengthen regional integration and secure energy supply chains across the Indo-Pacific. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next, please welcome Kyle Hausfeit, Assistant Secretary for Hydrocarbons and Geothermal, U.S. Department of Energy, to the podium, if you please.
Thank you. It's good to be back. America provides the most secure energy in the world. Not only are we blessed with an abundance of it, but we have the most secure supply chains and shipping routes to deliver it to our friends and allies. The TAPS pipeline in Alaska unleashed incredible amounts of oil. Billions of barrels of oil have been produced from the North Slope of Alaska. We're excited that President Trump is prioritizing and supporting the Alaska pipeline. The first infrastructure project that he announced in his first State of the Union is this project, 700-mile pipeline, to do exactly what TAPS did, but for natural gas. So we're excited to celebrate with continued support and offtake and partnership for the Glen Farm investment in Alaska. We believe the trillions of cubic feet that are currently trapped on the North Slope will be an incredible resource for our friends and allies in the Indo-Pacific. So thank you. We'll look forward to signing in a few minutes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Brendan Dunville, Chief Executive Officer and founder of Glen Farm, to the stage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending this affirmation ceremony. This is a letter of intent for 2 million tons into Thailand from the Alaska LNG project. Let me give you an update on the Alaska LNG project. It was a year ago that I was here with my colleague Adam Prestige, President of Glen Farm, Alaska, with the Governor of Alaska, and we signed our purchase of a 75% interest in the Alaska LNG project in the U.S. Embassy here in Japan a year ago. So this is a great time to provide an update on what's happened over the last year. The Alaska LNG project is really two major projects connected together. It's a 20 million ton LNG export project on the coast of Alaska and the Kenai Peninsula, and it's an 800-mile, about a 1,300-kilometer pipeline project. When we decided to take over the project at the invitation of the state of Alaska, we put together our own analysis on what we thought it would cost to build that project and the pricing of that LNG. We had a lot of confidence in both the LNG facility and the pricing because we're right on the verge of final investment decision for Texas LNG, which is a project on the Gulf Coast in Texas. So in breaking the project up into two phases, the first phase is the construction of the pipeline, which will carry 3.5 BCF a day, which is enough to drive 20 million tons of LNG and retain roughly 500 million a day of gas for domestic demand in Alaska. Over those 12 months, we did a repricing study of the pipeline, and that came in successfully at the end of last year. And through the early part of this year, we entered into a series of precedent agreements with the gas supply for FIDing the pipeline and domestic offtake for the FID of that pipeline. Furthermore, we've done the bidding of all the construction contracts for that pipeline and the pipe supply and the steel supply. We have to build 7,000-person man camp. That's the peak labor employment on that pipeline. And we've bid out all the construction of that temporary housing. And we've also bid out all of the early earthworks. You can imagine there's a lot of access roads being built and gravel pits being opened up for that construction. So that project, the pipeline portion of the project, will be built over the construction seasons at the end of this year. So 2 construction seasons broadly in 2027 and 2 construction seasons in 2028, because the construction has to align with the different freeze-thaw cycles there in Alaska. The intention is to have last weld, mechanical completion of the pipeline in 2028, and then gas will be delivered under that pipeline in 2029. That initial portion of the project is designed to de-risk the then construction of the LNG facility. So now I'll give you an update on the status of the LNG facility, which we would expect to start construction roughly a year after the pipeline starts construction. So of the 20 million tons that facility is designed for, and remember the whole facility is fully permitted, all engineering is done, all rights of way are in place, and every piece of the infrastructure is parallel to other existing infrastructure. So really the focus on the LNG facility has been the sales of the offtake. So for a 20 million ton facility, we generally look to contract ahead of time 80%. So 80% of 20 million tons is 16 million tons. And over the last 12 months, we've announced 13 million tons of sales. The first one that was announced was to Taiwan roughly a year ago for 6 million tons. That was quickly followed up by 2 million tons, which we'll be doing a reaffirmation ceremony here with PTT out of Thailand. We've announced 1 million tons with JERA, 1 million tons with Tokyo Gas, and our first fully priced HOA was with POSCO of Korea, who became a strategic partner of the project about 4 months ago, and POSCO has a fully priced heads of agreement for 1 million tons into Korea. They've also announced an investment into the project and also steel supply for the pipeline. After we announced all of those letters of intent, we had our first global LNG developer agree to come into the project as an off-taker with Total out of France. So to go to a sales volume that is sufficient for FID, we have 3 million tons left to sell. We actually have a very detailed negotiation going on with a very large global player at the moment. Actually, there's 2 of them there. So I suspect that last 3 million tons will move very quickly. The importance of this project has really been highlighted by the events in the Middle East. LNG coming down from the Kenai Peninsula into North Asia. For northern Japan, it's roughly a 7 to 8 day sail. 5 of those days are within US territory, coming down through the Aleutian Islands. And really it's then a short distance down into Taiwan and down to Thailand. and it is the only US LNG available to North Asia that does not have to travel through contested waters. So it is really an excellent choice for energy security. The gas supply comes from the North Slope. The amount of gas that's being re-injected on the North Slope is 8.5 BCF a day. And to put that in LNG volumes, that's excess of 50 million tons of LNG being re-injected into the North Slope. With this pipeline being built, we'll be able to start bringing gas down, and it'll also introduce a new wave of gas availability and the opportunity to put maybe twin or put extra compression in because of the demand we're seeing, and there's plenty of gas on the North Slope. So I'm proud to say over the last 12 months, this project has moved. It's been conceived for 50 years, and now we're here on the verge of FIDing the pipeline for phase 1, which will then pave the way for the FID of the LNG facility. Many of you in the room have participated in discussions, and the 2 days here, we've had many discussions with our existing off-takers and potential additional off-takers. So I'm really proud of and pleased with the amazing support of the cabinet under President Trump, particularly Secretary Burgum and Secretary Wright, have been nearly our lead sales team, spreading the great word of this project. So with that, I will say thank you, and maybe we can move into our signing reaffirmation ceremony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Duval, for your remarks. So now, this deal is the PTT AGTC Glenfarne renewed commitment on building energy security. Glenfarne has identified customers for 13 of the 16 MTPA, or 80% of the required volume to finance their strategic Alaska LNG project, the only federally authorized U.S. LNG project on the Pacific coast. In June 2025, Glenfarne announced a cooperation agreement with PTT, the largest publicly traded company in Thailand, for strategic participation in the Alaska LNG project, including the procurement of the 2 MTPA of LNG. With this foundational agreement, PTT became the second buyer to sign up for Alaska LNG offtake. PTT's early involvement with Alaska LNG reinvigorated awareness across Asia. And today, this project is moving from design to early execution due in no small part to the strong relationship between these two companies. All right, so let's do a photo shoot. All right, are we okay with the photo? Congratulations. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. We're now changing the stage layout, so please wait until we're ready. Thank you for your patience. Our next deal centers on the United States and India. So please welcome back Exim Chairman John Jovanovic to introduce the collaboration, if you please.
Thank you, and good morning once again, everyone. Today, I'm very proud to announce a landmark partnership between the United States and India in the energy and mineral sector, delivering on President Trump's commitment to reindustrialize America. Through this partnership, the Export-Import Bank of the United States is supporting Mesabi Metallics and their transformative facility on Minnesota's Mesabi Iron Range. This integrated iron ore mining and processing project is designed to produce about 7 million tons annually of high-grade direct reduction iron ore pellets. Now, these are critical inputs for modern steelmaking and will create hundreds of well-paying jobs in the United States. The total investment will be up to $10 billion, with the Export-Import Bank providing debt financing to help make it a reality. This project strengthens the U.S. industrial capacity and deepens our strategic ties with India, a very important ally, showing how collaboration on energy and critical minerals can drive innovation, economic growth, and supply chain security. This announcement highlights the importance of U.S.-India cooperation in advancing reliable and high-quality iron ore and steel for the global market writ large. We look forward to seeing the Mesabi Metallics facility become a model for large-scale modern steelmaking in the United States, a strong foundation for continued partnership with India. I'm very honored to be able to witness this today, again with Secretary Burgum, whose leadership at the Department of Interior and also as chairman of the National Energy Dominance Council has really helped so much of this become a reality. But first, I think we have a few remarks from the project sponsor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Secretary Burgum, the EXIM team, for all the effort that you all are putting into making this project a reality. And of course, most importantly, President Trump, who is his vision and his focus on reshoring the supply chain into the US for critical industries, for steelmaking and things like this. That is what is empowering us to really make this investment. So really appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So this is a deal between the Export-Import Bank and Mesabi Metallics. The Mesabi Metallics facility is a large iron ore mining and processing project on Minnesota's Mesabi Iron Range, designed to produce high-grade direct reduction iron ore pellets used in modern steelmaking. The integrated site includes an open-pit mine, beneficiation plant, and pellet plant expected to produce roughly 7 million tons of DR-grade pellets annually. All right, okay with the photo? All right, congratulations. So now our next deal centers on the United States and Japan. This is a deal between Japan and Venture Global for CP2 Phase 2. So please welcome back Secretary Doug Burgum to introduce the partnership. Mr. Burgum, if you please.
One of the most transformative things that's happened in the world of energy in the last 15 years was the shale revolution in the United States. This innovation, which I mentioned yesterday during my open remarks, it took the U.S. from being a net importer to not only a net exporter, but now the world's largest exporter of LNG. As you know, in the United States, we do not have a national oil company. Our oil or gas company, it depends on entrepreneurs and innovators and risk takers. And the LNG industry is full of those. One of the companies that stands out in particular that's brought a tremendous amount of innovation to how how they build and build quickly high quality, high capacity export facilities for LNG as Venture Global. So it's an honor to be here today as part of this announcement. On Friday night, as a kickoff announcement of this conference, Venture Global announced an $8.6 billion expansion of their capacity. You'll hear more about this. But this brings, at this one location, to almost $20 billion of construction. And again, as we share our gratitude with President Trump, none of this would be possible. The prior administration had put a ban on American companies, even those that had been permitted and had the gas. There was a ban on construction of LNG export facilities. This was I think, confusing to a lot of people in the industry, confusing to our allies, certainly was confusing to investors, and thankfully was confusing to some voters who decided that actually an administration that supported energy abundance versus energy scarcity was a good thing, and that's, again, supported President Trump winning in a landslide in November of 2024. Almost immediately, on day one, President Trump took office. He lifted the ban on the export facilities and companies like Venture Global, and they in particular took off, and with that as a giant green light. And again, $20 billion of capital deployed or committed in just this period of time that President Trump has been in office. So remarkable speed. We talked about Trump speed. Venture Global has been moving at Trump speed, and what a benefit. When you add the incremental export capacity, all of you in this room are sophisticated enough to know what that does to the spot market for LNG during peak times of capacity constraint. And it's the estimate, it has to be, and I'm not sure if it's 20, 30 billion or more dollars that were saved by Venture Global customers in terms of being able to buy that excess capacity. And particularly from a strategic standpoint, during that period of time with the Russian and Ukraine war occurring, that a lot of that went to Europe. And as you know, the United States has been able to displace 2/3 of Russian natural gas sales into Western Europe, again, assuring that our allies had the power and the heat to make it through 2 winters since President Trump has been in office, but also to make sure that they had lower costs. So again, it's a real pleasure to be part of this ceremony today with a great American company like Venture Global. And also, I know my partner and fellow cabinet members coming up here, Lee Zeldin. None of this speed would be possible without the transformative work under his leadership that the Environmental Protection Agency is doing to make sure that we can take care of our water, our land, our air, but at the same time allow industry to get permits so that they can build great things quickly. That was a hallmark of America decades ago. We're going back to a country that can build great things well, build great things quickly, build with innovation, and the partnership with the states and with companies like Venture Global points to this. This is a shining example of the success that we've seen when we turn loose American entrepreneurs and American innovation, the speed at which we can do to transform global energy markets. Thank you.
So now I would like to welcome back Administrator Zeldin, U.S. EPA, to the stage for his remarks, if you please.
President Trump has been very focused since the moment he was sworn in for the second term to increase the amount of extraction, to build new pipelines, to reduce timelines for permitting, to bring costs down, to add more certainty. For us to unleash energy dominance inside of the United States, it's not just about extracting and transporting LNG for Americans, it's also about making sure that we have more of an ability to export to other countries as well. This weekend has been highlighting the many ways through public-private partnerships we have been taking advantage of this opportunity allies, partners all across the Indo-Pacific. At the Trump Environmental Protection Agency, we have been working through new guidelines, new rulemakings with Clean Water Act and other legislation statutes to be able to make it easier to complete this task. We also have been leaning into a principle called cooperative federalism to ensure that our partnerships with the states across America are allowing all of these projects to advance as quickly as possible. Congress is even talking at this time about new permitting legislation to make law, to hopefully, and I would say, make permitting cost less money, take less time, and have more certainty. Venture Global is at the tip of the spear. Michael Sable is doing an exceptional job leading a great team with a big vision. They are seeking to make such a substantial impact that they strive to be the #1 LNG exporter, and they now see that light here at the end of the tunnel, a vision that is being realized, certainly being advanced here over the past 48 hours in Tokyo, Japan, and we're grateful to Venture Global for all of their efforts to lean into this moment, to meet this moment, to help unleash energy dominance, and to help build a future that makes for a stronger Indo-Pacific.
Right, so finally, let's welcome Mr. Michael Sable, CEO of Venture Global, to the stage.
Good morning. Wow, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is only possible with the amazing leadership. Secretary Burgum, Administrator Zeldin have been amazing leaders. Indeed, as you described, we had received all our permits. We have been working on CP2 for almost 5 years. The permitting process was finally complete. It probably cost us, just for permitting, close to $500 million. And then we went into LNG pause jail in the prior administration. And President Trump, and his leadership, and with your support in a very tough campaign, turned it around, which allows us to very quickly launch construction and bring that production capacity to the market. CP2, I'd also like to, of course, express appreciation for the support of Secretary Wright, who's not here, but has been instrumental in supporting us as well. CP2 ultimately will produce 40 million tons of export capacity, production capacity, when we add one more bolt-on expansion of that, which we're actually already placing orders for. Ultimately, while it's that's close to a $36 billion construction project, more importantly, over the life of the project, it will approach $750 billion of balance of trade, which is amazing global trade. It is also supported by significant manufacturing of components in Asia. We do specialized, very large vessels in Malaysia. We do Herzig systems in Vietnam. We do specialized nickel steel from mills in Korea, and components from many other countries in Asia as well. We also have received billions of dollars of capital support for construction loans from Asia, in particular Japan, MUFG, SMBC, Mizuho, and numerous other banks in Japan have supported us, capital supported us in Korea and from China as well. So we're very grateful for all that support. And finally, we are super grateful for the customers that have trusted us to build this facility, and deliver to Japan. Great Japanese companies like JERA, Tokyo Gas, Impex, and Mitsui. And of course, earlier today, we also are adding our great new partners, Hanwha of Korea. So thank you very much. We're super grateful. Thank you again for your support, and we have more on the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On Friday, Venture Global announced a final investment decision and successful closing of an $8.6 billion project financing for the second phase of the company's third project, Venture Global CP2 LNG. When combined with the phase one financing for CP2 announced July 2025, this milestone represents the largest standalone project financing in the U.S. bank market with a total investment of over $20 billion. This project is expected to make Venture Global the largest exporter of the U.S. LNG and the top direct supplier of U.S. LNG to Japan. The transaction garnered enormous interest from the world's leading banks, including Japanese banks like MUFG, who co-led the transaction Mizuho and SMBC. The CP2 project will supply low-cost long-term LNG to Tokyo Gas, Impex, JERA, and Mitsui. We still got some notes. This deal also marks unprecedented milestone of the 5 final investment decisions for Venture Global in less than 7 years with over $95 billion in capital market transactions. So once again, congratulations, everyone. Okay, please proceed. Right, congratulations once again to all the organizations involved in today's announcement. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a round of applause to all the partners who helped bring these deals together. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Now, these agreements reflect the growing spirit of the cooperation and partnership across the Indo-Pacific, the very foundation of this forum. Building on that momentum, we will now hear from distinguished ministers representing Bangladesh, Timor-Leste, Vietnam, and New Zealand, who are helping lead their countries' efforts to strengthen energy security and regional collaboration. Our first speaker in this distinguished group is Iqbal Hassan Muhammad, Minister of Power, Energy, and Mineral Resources of Bangladesh. So please join me in welcoming Minister Muhammad to the stage.
Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends from around the world, good morning and warm greetings from Bangladesh. I extend my gratitude for inviting me in this forum. It is a privilege to speak at this esteemed forum on energy security, collaboration, and growth. A country like Bangladesh faces real energy challenges. Bangladesh is one of the most populous countries in the world. And as the economy continues to grow, energy demand increasing repeatedly. However, the country's domestic natural resources are limited. And significant portion of energy supply depends on import. This situation makes Bangladesh vulnerable to the global price volatility and supply disruptions. A large share of Bangladesh LNG imports passes through Strait of Hormuz. Current disruption in this route is a big threat for energy security of Bangladesh. Cancellation or non-delivery of cargoes under long-term LNG contract forces Bangladesh to procure LNG from the spot market significantly higher prices. For Bangladesh, higher LNG oil prices substantially increase the fiscal pressure, rise electricity generation cost, affect the competitiveness of domestic industries. In this context, we are seeking long-term partnership for diversified sources to ensure stable energy supply arrangement. However, through this IPEM forum, I would like to draw attention of the global leaders on obtaining concessional financing in order to mitigate the financial burden arising from high price during the current crisis. Our government has assumed office just about a month ago. Guided by our electoral mandate, we have adopted targeted 180 days action plan alongside a comprehensive 5-year plan. One of the key priorities to promote increased investment in Bangladesh energy sector. I would like to highlight several areas where we are seeking investment. The government of Bangladesh will launch both onshore-offshore bidding rounds this year. We are updating our financial and commercial terms, which include full repatriation of profit, government payment of investors' taxes, competitive pricing linked with international benchmark, and long-term fiscal stability to support investment. However, the government is committed actively assisting contractors in obtaining license, approvals, land access, operational support through coordinated investor-friendly approach. Alongside upstream development, Bangladesh is planning to establish land-based LNG terminal to strengthen long-term energy security and support country's growing energy demand. The project will be implemented under public-private partnership, PPP model. With government support for land, site development, port access, and other logistic facilities, this will provide investors with bankable project structure, long-term offtake agreements, and stable returns. In the downstream, currently Bangladesh operating only one refinery with a capacity of approximately 1.5 million metric tons per annum, which is insufficient to meet growing domestic demand. Due to limited refining capacity, a significant volume of refined petroleum product must be imported at a higher cost. Placing this pressure on foreign exchange reserve. Moreover, project will produce environmentally friendly Euro 5 standard petroleum product with sulfur content below 10 ppm, which considered environmentally sustainable. We are seeking international partners to participate in developing a modern refinery. Beyond fossil fuel, Bangladesh remains committed gradually increasing the share of renewable in our energy mix. Currently, renewable energy accounts for about 6.07% of our electricity generation. As strategic priority, we aim to generate at least 20% of our total electricity from renewable sources by 2030. In this context, significant opportunity exists. Investment in solar, waste to energy, and onshore-offshore wind energy through PPP, G2G, concessional financing, and other modalities. Before I turn to closing, I want to acknowledge the timing and purpose of this forum. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to USTDA for organizing this important forum. It is a timely initiative that can accelerate practical cooperation and deliver tangible results for our people and for the region. I would also like to express my appreciation to the government of Japan for hosting this excellent event. Finally, a note on collaboration. We seek broad collaboration from this forum and beyond to make our initiatives successful. We believe regional cooperation across the Indo-Pacific is essential for securing energy supply chain. Bangladesh welcomes credible international partners to work with us. Energy security and national security, and together we can build a more resilient, affordable, and sustainable energy future for all. Let us move forward with unity, clarity, and urgency. Thank you for attention, and I look forward to meaningful collaboration at this forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your remarks. We will now take a lunch break. Now, our meal will be served buffet style in the foyer until 1 p.m. So please feel free to bring your lunch back into the ballroom to enjoy while connecting with the colleagues. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our corporate lunch sponsors, Shania and the Center for LNG. Thank you very much for your generous support of IPEM. Now, following lunch, we will reconvene for our deep dive sessions on the third floor. These discussions will be led by Industry Association and will bring together leaders from both industry and government. Please note that this concludes our programming on the fourth floor. All remaining sessions today will take place on the third floor. So we kindly ask that you take your personal items with you after lunch. For details on your session, please scan the QR code on the back of your credential. At 3:45 p.m., we will come back together in the Fuji meeting room on the third floor for a presentation on the deep dive session findings to the ministers. And this is a housekeeping note. If you need to pick up your personal item at bag check, please use hotel guest elevator to access the fourth floor. But for now, please enjoy lunch, and we look forward to continuing the conversation this afternoon. We'll see you later. Thank you.